On the pod.
Am I live on the pod?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So first time caller, long time listener. Just want to talk about how bad you brothers are. Bad you brothers are. Bad you brothers are. Bad you brothers are. Bad you brothers are.
Say this is a full topic, but I had some weird podcast drama this week. Mm-hmm. Myself, me, Michael Browning, had some weird podcast drama this week.
With a pod?
Yes. Okay, this is the Bad Brothers podcast. This is Michael and Will Browning, Port Orchard's finest podcast, Bad Brothers.
We're Bad Brothers, now we pod.
We're Bad Brothers. We pod, so we're not Bad Brothers. And now we've been going for 41 weeks. Actually, we've been going for 42 weeks. I talked about that on a previous episode. We've been going for 42 weeks. So one of these weeks between now and 52, expected double week.
We could have grown a baby by now.
Yes. Our podcast baby was born last week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or this weekend is just extra big.
Oh, yeah.
Extra fat.
Brain damage.
Extra smart. Oh, I thought they get smarter the longer they're in.
I don't know.
Like Kyle XY.
Maybe it didn't come out because it was lazy.
Yeah.
Maybe our podcast has a small
cervix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vaginal canal.
We have our podcast has sort of a tight vaginal canal. Small C-section.
Oh yeah, we should have.
This is our C-section app.
They had to schedule it to get induced. You know, the doctor is busy.
Wait, are we being induced or are we having a C-section?
Both. The induce it didn't work.
Yeah,
so then they had to do emergency C-section.
True. Okay, this is the emergency C-section app. C-section.
Seashells. Marshall.
I had some actual podcast drama this week. There's this podcast I listened to. I don't know how I got started listening to it. It's called the Gut Check Podcast. It's not a podcast that most people would get into. You'd have to I don't imagine like starting it now would make sense.
Is it about IBS?
It's not about IBS. It's these two guys. They're two friends, and they have like their own publishing. They're two writers. Well, one guy is a pastor. One guy is he's a professor now at
Pepperdine.
No, at Julia's school. Is that one? Have you heard me talk about that?
Yes. Union.
So
University.
he's a part. I know how to. He's a part of another podcast that's sort of like a Christian podcast, and then this one. I mean, they're still Christians, but the podcast is just them being dumb. And I got into it. They did a lot of like energy drink reviews, and like they would read stuff on the can and like make fun of it because energy drink, coffee is like ridiculous. And so they talk about Die Hard. They love freaking old 80s things. Cheers. The guy who teaches at Julia's school, he teaches like English or journalism or something. He wrote for ESPN. He's written a bunch of books, ghostwritten a bunch of books. And the other guy is a pastor. He's written a couple of novels, and I think his wife's a writer too. They have their own. They've published a couple books themselves. Gut Check Press is their thing. Anyways, let me just set the tone. I've actually like been funny because I got like energy drinks like in Cambodia and like mailed them to them.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like they don't do as much as the energy drinks anymore, but that was obviously I drink too many energy drinks, and so that was like something I got into about the podcast because it was so funny. And I sent them energy drinks from Cambodia, and it's just a stupid podcast. There's not that many people who will listen. It's kind of like this. It's just like it's like a small group of followers who listen, and like
niche.
A few months ago, we did like a Zoom. Some of the people who listen to the podcast, we did a Zoom, and it's only a couple people on there and everything, and so it's a fun, like we tweet at each other and stuff. Little small community, but I don't really know them. Right. It's just a podcast I listen to, even though we interact every once in a while. And all of a sudden, okay, I haven't been listening that much.
Yeah.
The episodes come out kind of sporadically, not like us, not like this.
Like Nightmare Collective pod.
Yes. Which didn't hear anything.
Nah.
Again.
I don't know if we will.
Intimidated. Porter's Finest Podcast, obviously. But the episodes come out kind of sporadically, but I haven't been able to listen as easily because everything about the pandemic, they're kind of like I wouldn't say they're like anti-mask, but they just get really worked up about everything related to COVID, and they're not like MAGA people.
Yeah.
But it's just like
they want America to suck.
Well, one guy lives in like Michigan where it's like everything's like shut down.
It is?
And yeah.
When I was in Wisconsin, it was oddly not shut down.
Oh, well, Wisconsin is actually a different state than Michigan. I don't know if you heard. I think they started that a while back.
For those of you just listening, I rolled my eyes so hard. It hurt.
Ted, the other guy, the union guy, obviously lives in Tennessee. That's where Julia's college is, blah, blah, blah. Well, all of a sudden, I get a notification on my tweet machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I look on my tweet app, and I see a little 1 next to the bell, and I say,
Rare.
Very rare. Did Matt, Paul, or Karen comment on one of my tweets? And it was neither. None of the above. D, none of the above. It was
Ted.
He is, well, that's another thing. He is supposedly not on social media.
Oh.
Because he can't, he doesn't like to deal with it. It's not good for him personally. It's just like he's been off Facebook for.
Oh, is he only on that? What was the Republican one?
Parlance.
Parlance, yeah.
No, not on Parlor. Not on Parlor. He didn't like being on Facebook. He doesn't like he was like an author for a long time.
Too many people disagree with him.
No, it's too much. I think I don't know. Let's see if I can remember. It's sort of like, he doesn't just like the game of social media. He's sort of like a straight shooter guy.
He watched the documentary, Social, whatever, and he's out.
No,
I know. I'm just kidding.
Like, same with me. It's just like everybody's like posturing and stuff like that, and like when you're an author, it's just like
sitting is the new smoking, though.
Sure.
Posture joke.
Sitting is yeah, I get it.
Wee.
And so Ted is supposedly not on social media or anything. Zach, the other guy, he is on social media, and he is more of an a-hole than I want my pastor to be online. Let's just put it that way. And since COVID and everything, both of them, it's been hard to listen to the podcast because they've both been irritated.
Yeah.
Even on the other podcast that I said was just like Christian and it's mostly lighthearted, you can tell Ted has this biting edge to him.
Yeah, it's hard to listen to it.
I like Ted because he's sort of like disaffected, funny guy. You know, that's what I would like to be. Disaffected, funny guy. I like that. But then he's got this like cutting, biting side to him lately. And Zach, he's getting all fired up. So I see this tweet and it says, you're going to hate this ep, especially Easy as MDB. I'm Easy as MDB on all platforms.
What?
Easy as MDB.
Called out.
And Luke Wampus, who this like fictional character, this fictional kind of like satanic character, evil character that they made up called Luke Wampus. It's just something that they joke about. So
You
then
got called out.
I tweet back, LOL, not very good to be mentioned in a tweet with this other fictional character guy. And before I listened to the app, but
Yeah.
I'm mentioned in the tweet and I know they've been angry about stuff. So I'm like, I got to listen. So I listen and I delete my tweet and I send a DM because I listened to the app and they're like ranting about all this COVID stuff, which they're like, oh, finally, we're going to lay it all out here.
Oh my gosh.
And they do. And Zach tells a story about he's a pastor. So he's like trying to go into this like senior care facility place. And they're just like making him go through this rigmarole, even all these, even though everybody's vaccinated, even they're treating them like prisoners. And he's like, what are you, the warden? To this person, this lady who's just like, hey, I'm just doing it. Like, I didn't make up the rules.
Because according to our mother, Tennessee is ahead of the game on the vaxes.
Well, he's in Michigan.
Oh, I got him
He's
mixed
in the
up.
strict place.
I thought Ted,
He's in the Michigan, not Wisconsin, Michigan place.
I thought Ted was in Michigan.
No.
Ted's in
Ted
Tennessee.
used to be in Michigan.
Ted's in Tennessee.
That's how they're sort of best friends.
Oh, okay.
And so they're telling the story and they're talking about how like old people are dying, you know, they're getting dementia at rapid rates. Zach is talking about how angry he's getting. Ted is talking about how stupid everything is. They're both talking about how how challenging it is for their kids staying home and going to school, and kids are just like falling, whatever. People are, you know, these businesses are shuttering, and all this stuff. And they're just going on and on about how bad everything is. And there is some funny stuff in there, and there is some laughing because they're two like good-natured kind of laughy guys who like to have fun. But there was so much like vitriol and like actual anger in the episode. It was weird because it's like, I know, like unintentionally, they were saying like Easy as MDB will hate this up.
Because you had made comments or something before?
Every once in a while, I throw a tweet at Zach, the guy, and sort of say like something opposite of what he's saying. Because he's saying like, oh, here, you know, masks don't help. And here's this study that says masks don't help.
Throwback to me saying Michael likes to argue.
And
for the fun of it.
And I'll say something like, actually, you know, here at all I know is my experience from our hospitals and da 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 da. And but maybe like 2 times doing that in the last year. And anyways, so, and I haven't argued really with people about this COVID and everything because it drives people insane.
Oh yeah, they take it personally.
And so basically I had a DM drafted in my notes as I was listening to the app, because I sort of was like, you know what, unintentionally they put me on the side of like being happy that old people are dying, being happy that kids are failing out of school. It's like, because they were kind of like, who could, you know, these old people are dying and getting dementia and kids are failing school. It's like, who would support such a thing? And then it's like, who is going to hate this up? Easy as MDB. Well, by the time it gets to the end of the episode, I'm thinking like, you know what? Not a big deal. It's like, they were just trying to have fun and went too far. I'll just sort of say like, hey, this tweet put me on the side of old people dying. Not cool. I think it was unintentional, but
yeah.
Can you delete my name? Whatever. But then I hear, as we have, the music fade out. And they play a little music as they're sort of ending the conversation. And then I hear Ted say underneath the music, you know who's going to hate this episode? Easy as MDB. And so that DM that was in my drafts, in my notes, it got sent immediately. And it was scathing. And it was just like, it was so weird because I was like, I was basically,
I don't even know these people.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, I don't even know you guys, and you guys don't even know me. Exemplified by the fact that you don't even know how to call me by my name. You call me easy as MDB when you're talking about me. You don't call me Michael Browning.
This makes me...
And I got an apology from both of them.
Okay, good.
And both of them said, didn't call me by name. Ted wrote me a message that said, hey, hey, MDB, I'm sorry. And it's like, yeah, exactly my point.
You were telling a story, and I was ready to make a Twitter and these guys up. You can put in a bleep there if you want in editing. They don't come for my bad brother, especially on some fake COVID BS that they're all butthurt about.
And I sort of brought this up last time. This is I will end the drama. Because for me, is not. I think the tweet was sort of like. I think everything was sort of good-hearted.
They were doing it for the views.
No, I think the tweet, including me in the tweet, was just sort of like, haha. I actually think they were honest in saying like it was just meant to be a joke. Like, you know who's gonna hate this episode? Easy as MDB. And I think it was unintentional that they put me on the side of like old people dying is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they didn't think through that. I think what was sort of messed up and they didn't realize is like their whole episode was like real anger and,
Yeah.
And so if it was just joking the whole time.
Because it's like normal to them.
Yeah. If it was just joking the whole time, then it would have been like, oh, I'm in on the joke. But to me, it was like, it's like sitting on the bus and like the kids who are like a year older are in the back. And then all of a sudden you hear your name mentioned. Yeah. And it's like, well, you don't really have a reason to mention my name unless it's bad. Yeah. So why, if it was good, you'd be saying it to me.
Yeah. You want to fight at Manchester State Park or what?
Yeah. It was just like, I was like, you don't know me. You don't know how I think. You don't know anything about me. So why are you saying anything about me? And I was like,
keep my name out of your mouth.
Put some respect on my name.
So all of this to say, bad family, join me. We're gonna dojo sweep their podcast comments.
No. I actually I still like him. I think it was just unintentional.
They're gonna find out.
It just went too far.
They're gonna find out what the bad family is all about.
It just went too far. This is what I was gonna say. I'll transition away from my podcast drama. It just made for good fodder for the podcast. For my own podcast.
Some Potter.
Listen, I'm an accountant. I don't have that much going on in my life. So when I have Twitter drama, and I'm going to bring it up on this podcast, so I have something to talk about.
Right.
But I also wanted to say this, is like there's only so much you can care about. And I have my feelings about like COVID and everything.
Right.
And I even said this in my tweet to them. It's like I actually do think all the sort of lockdowns in some areas, in many areas have gone too far.
Yeah.
It's just like, but I just don't think it's that big of a deal to wear a mask to the grocery store. And I just don't get all worked up about it.
It's your personal energy is not worth it.
Exactly. Even if you intellectually, like on paper, have the same opinion as somebody else, for one person, it can be...
To act it out.
Yes, it can be sort of a passion of theirs, or sort of a whatever you were saying last week about your dog parlance.
Reformation.
Yes, you might want a dog show parlance reformation, and I'm just like, yeah, maybe it's not good, but I'm not going to get all that worked up about it.
You're not starting a hashtag.
It's like, hey, we might not yeah, exactly. And that's what I think. It's like when people call each other out on Twitter, or why didn't you post this thing on Instagram? Like, all that kind of stuff is so crazy, because it's like,
especially on social media.
Exactly. You might not want to use social media in that way, or whatever. There's a million reasons why you wouldn't get worked up about something, but on the basic level, it's like you can't care about everything that everybody else cares about. It's just not possible.
I have a very small gas tank when it comes to drama, and especially the online.
And even this COVID stuff is like, I know how bad it is. I know over 500,000 people have died. I know millions of people have died globally and everything like that. And I know, I mean, you lost your job because of COVID and everything like that. And there's plenty of stuff that has gone wrong. I know how it's affected Grandma, and how hard it's been on her this year, or Tammy's grandma. Tammy's grandma does have bad dementia, and it's been very sad to see her situation this year. A lot of those bad situations around COVID are real to me, but in a weird way, it's just not something. I'm not huffing when I put my mask on and walking to the Walmart attendant and saying, don't you know that this is America, and
infringing,
whatever, for some people, maybe it is right that they say, like, well, the government is reaching too far and whatever. That was some of what they were saying on the podcast. And it's just like, I get it. That makes sense to me in my mind. And yet still, it's like, I just can't go there emotionally.
Yeah.
With you. I can go there with you intellectually. I just can't go there with you emotionally, and whatever. It was just funny. But the sad part was, like, I mean, I didn't.
Was that the whole apology? Just, oh, sorry. Or was it more than that? You don't have to share. I'm just wondering.
Oh, what they said?
Yeah.
Back to me?
Yeah.
Which was like, well, Ted's was more like, hey, you're right. I don't know you.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. Because
social media is weird.
That's what he ended up saying. Like, social media, he's basically saying, like, it was wrong for me to act like I know you and then just, like, say something about you. And, like, assume that I know you based on a couple things about, like, basically they assume because of my age and that I live where I live, which near Seattle, like to people in the Will's rolling his eyes
again.
To people in the Midwest, I think I might have said this early on in the podcast. I went to Cambodia once, and this guy from Alabama, he's just like, oh man,
Roll Tide.
After he was like, Roll Tide, he said, he's like, it must be awful up there, basically, like, he's like, can you even go to a church up there? Basically, I'm like, there's a church on every corner, just like every other place in the United States, and they just think it's like, hell on earth here. And, Satan is running the streets with a pitchfork and stuff.
Or like hippies or, social justice warriors.
Exactly. So these guys from the podcast see that I'm 36, which is not so young, and live near Seattle. So I'm SJW.
Mm-hmm.
And It's just so then. But that's what I said.
Jehovah's Witness.
Just
kidding. Social justice.
That's what I said in my podcast. It's like I don't want to be the proxy for your anger about, for people who disagree with you about COVID, because you don't know anything about me.
Yeah.
And so that's what I just said. Mentioning me or thinking you know me is just like weird, because I'm just a stranger on the internet.
Right.
I have done a Zoom with you, but it was like they did an episode and we just like listened.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It wasn't like conversation.
They did do some Q&A, and I did ask a Q to hear an A, but, it wasn't anything.
Right.
Anyways, that's my drama. You know what?
I don't know. It got me fired up.
When there's not a lot going on, you need something like that.
Next time, if we remember from past episodes, if next time you need someone with a top tier comment to add, call your brother. A
little TTC.
Because if anyone can leave a comment that's going to get some attention, it's me. And I was fired up when you were saying that, and they weren't putting respect on my family. They were disrespecting my family. I was ready to throw these hands on the keyboard and leave a comment.
Yeah. Yeah. Leave a comment. Good Chick Press. No, don't leave a comment. They're nice. You know what sucked is like I was almost going like that night or the next day. I was gonna like figure out how I could like get in contact with Ted when I was down in the TN,
down in the DMs,
and it was messed up.
Yeah, and that's why you never meet your idols.
Actually, I do. Ted,
one time I met Steve Poole.
I love him.
And everything was true.
Did he smell good? He seems like he'd be a guy who smells good.
Perfect skin.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, perfect
He's like
skin. Black don't crack. Everybody
60,
knows.
Whatever. Perfect skin. So friendly. Guessed my age because it was my birthday that day.
I just spilled Truly on your arm.
Well, my arm's over here, but...
Do I need a spray?
No, it's clear. It's the old bachelor pad. It can smell like Truly. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'll Febreze it if needed.
Febreze.
2016, I met Steve Poole on December 21st at the Como for...
Oh, on your B-Day?
Yep.
Wow. For your B-Day?
No, it just happened to be the day we went there.
When did he retire? Not too long ago. 2 years ago?
Yeah, a couple years ago. He was very friendly. It was cool. I got to see like the operating room with all the screens where they're like, cut to camera 2, cut to whatever,
Oh, yeah.
And all that.
That would be cool.
The production room.
Yeah, production room. That's why I say don't have any heroes. Don't look up to anyone. You can never be disappointed by them.
Mm-hmm. Zero expectations. Don't make goals for your life.
You'll always be happy. Look at me.
Look at me.
So happy.
Brought to you by BetterHelp.
Okay, wait. Okay, so listen up, people. If you have been waiting with bated breath to see when is the Bad Brothers podcast going to do video, I want to see what these people look like. But now the venue is secure. The setup is settled. And so I think my plan is to do some video testing in May. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully in June, or I might just save it for the 1 year, because I think we started around June 22nd, and we can make it like a big to-do.
Hoopla.
Oh, I got to see if I can make it to the end of this pod, because I'm going to have to pee again.
I'm locked and loaded right now.
I had so much caffeine at the end of the day that I had 2 energy drinks, and I forgot.
2?
And I forgot I had coffee.
Coffee.
as well.
Didn't even know you drank coffee.
Yeah, I've been drinking that coffee. I even got the pumps in the kitchen.
Oh, syrups?
Yeah. I pump my coffee.
I just have mine John Wayne style. Black.
Nah, can't do it.
My steak rare and my coffee black.
Nope.
Sorry, coffee of color.
So, anyway, venue settled.
June 22nd.
Need to do some testing. June 22nd, was that our first one?
Mm-hmm.
Don't go back and listen to the first ep.
Don't.
Do not. But start around episode 20. I'm not saying they're all bangers after that, but
And there are a few good between 15 and 20.
yeah, I mean there is
for
some
consistency,
good stuff. Yeah.
start at 20.
Hopefully you've been enjoying the podcast more and more and more and more. Now, what do you think about this idea for video? So we record 2 episodes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have our own production meeting. You're going to walk into the production trailer right now. And so let me ask you. So we record 2 episodes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do video and you come over to my casa, because that's where the video studio would be,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to bring 2 outfits. Because we don't want to go back to back in the same outfit.
Yeah.
You could have
Easy.
same pants, but same shirt, you got to switch it out. I mean, if you're just wearing a sweatshirt, you wear a sweatshirt one up, take it off, you got a t-shirt next up.
I could do that easy.
Me, I could go upstairs and change. I could change my underwear if I
I
wanted
could
to.
put on your clothes.
Okay.
Let's switch one time.
Okay, this is my idea. What do you think about this idea? I don't mean to brag, but I'm a Zappos VIP.
What?
Yeah. I've already shouted out Zappos one time, but one time,
We both have giant feet, and you cannot buy them in the store.
no, I wear Vans, but I found out Echo fits my feet. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, because also Vans doesn't, a lot of the like hip ones and like the new styles, they don't have them in
F you
size
Vans.
14.
More cool 14s.
We want more cool 14s. Hashtag get
Okay.
passionate about it.
Wait, talk for a second about having big feet because I got to
Okay.
find this.
Michael, you're at 14, right?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, so it's
If I
size-
could just be 13, I would give anything.
Yeah.
Actually, I would give anything to be a 12. I would give just a little bit less to be a 13.
Yeah. Lots of majority of stores, like the mall, anywhere you go, can't find 14. I've gone into stores before and said, just bring me all the 14s you have, because I know there'll be like 3 different ones. So now I strictly buy shoes online. I just bought some Nike Blaze Low online, size 14. And so yeah, it's a struggle. Struggle's real. Because you know what they say, when you got big feet, can't buy shoes in the store. So it's a real struggle. Vans, all the hip styles, the stop at 13, stuff like that.
Okay, so this was a online chat. You can online chat with
Customer service chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now it cuts off at the end, so I'm just gonna say this is not going to end well. But this is an online chat.
At where?
At Zappos.
Okay.
I can't remember. There was something wrong with the order or something.
Uh-huh.
I wear a size 14 in Vans. I have such a hard time finding shoes that work for my feet, but Vans 14s do. One super annoying thing is that they only have a small variation of shoes in 14 that aren't those big chunky skater ones that everyone wore in 2001. But I couldn't because they look ridiculous in a 14 and still do.
Osiris.
So I can't buy them. Etnies also.
Etnies, yep.
Imagine my surprise when browser window shopping Vans on here the other day, and they have a new style in a 14. I was so sick of blue and black classics. I can't get red since I'm not trying to look like Ron McDonald over here. Obviously, I texted like 10 people to tell them how excited I was. Lots of emojis, too many uses of the word sick. And then my wife is like, oh, I just saw this thing that we have a $30 credit with Zappos. Have you ever drained all the oil out of your car after 5,000
Wait,
miles?
this is
and
what you
just
sent to the chat?
watch that gooey black stream pour out? That was my brain melting out of my head. Obviously, I had my favorite pair picked in like 1 second. But then I got caught up and then it cuts off. That's all it was. That's it. Yeah.
And then what happened?
I don't know. I just remember I enjoyed writing that one time to,
They respond?
Adam or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever, somebody in
The robot.
India was. When they pick an American name.
His real name was Ashish.
I would like it if he just goes by his real name. Anyways, one time I said, hey, I sorry I didn't return these shoes on time. I had a baby. You know what came in the mail? My UPS, that came to my email. And then flowers. They said, congrats on the baby.
What?
They sent flowers to us. So, anyways, what about this idea for video? I buy outfits. Free shipping both ways.
Uh-huh.
I just outfit myself for the episodes. I could wear like crazy whatever.
Oh, like costumes.
Yeah, I costume myself out for the episodes.
Yeah.
Would you feel bad if I am really looking amazing and you're wearing that?
No, because I think you underestimate my ability for outfits as well. Currently in my closet, I have an orange tracksuit, bright orange. I have a leather jacket from the late 70s, early 80s, worn by our father in high school.
Oh, you have that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have a train conductor suit,
Oh, yes.
amongst other, fashionable items.
So you've got a little curved tail yourself, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Curved tail, sure.
I've been known to have a curved tail in my life.
Talking about gay tails?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So, yeah, I'd be down.
I just have I have a question. Did you talk at all this episode? I apologize.
No, I talked more last episode.
Last time I apologized to Prindle Ridge Farm. This episode, I apologize to
Are we out of time?
my brother. We are at the end of the episode.
Good, because I really have to go pee.
Oh.
But
Like, subscribe.
comment. We love the feedback.
Go to youtube.com/EasyAsMDB. That's where I post all the episodes. You will begin to see in the near future episodes with our faces on them.
Are we going to premiere the first one?
Yeah, we should.
Live premiere. We can be live in the chats.
Live in the chat. There's some live in the chat. There's some live in the chat. That's my new thing I love singing. There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this
I
house.
thought it was whores.
I think it's hoes.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I heard it one time, but it's just that.
What's the difference between a hoe and a whore? Thanks for listening, guys.